All right, good morning, everyone. This is Kenneth Price, and I'm on board with my new friend, Marcy, on Sunday, August 13th for our psychiatric. This is my 5-minute introduction for our psychiatric sobriety Zoom call every morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I do this introduction every time because we record these to YouTube, because we talk for an hour, we record for an hour, and what comes through us, what comes out of us is so helpful for us and hopefully for others. But I just can speak for myself. I always go back to these YouTube recordings to see what I said, because when two or more are gathered, wise stuff comes out of this. All right, so what is psychiatric sobriety? What do we do? Why do we assemble? Psychiatric sobriety was a brainchild about 2 years ago, because I am a man who emerged from 25 years of psychiatry. I say this every time, but I repeat it every time in case somebody's watching this for the first time. I was on mountains of pills, and I'm no longer on mountains of pills. How did I get off mountains of pills? Lots and lots of hard work, lots and lots of faith, lots and lots of help, and miracles along the way. And how do I promulgate miracles? I keep them going because I share them. You can't keep love unless you share love. Love is not scarcity. Love is abundance. My mental illness was all scarcity. My mental illness was the religion of fear, scarcity, and lack. So I'm kind of ADHD. So every time I talk, I just wah, wah, wah. And Marcy's laughing. I love it when we laugh, because laughter is not mental illness. Laughter is mental health. So anyway, to make a long story short, folks, I mean, it's kind of serious business. You know, when you're in that rabbit hole of pharmacology, you know, you can't see any way out. I couldn't see any way out, but that was not a problem, because it forced me to get on my knees and say the most earnest prayer of my life: help. And help arrived. That's the serious part. Help arrived, and I want to share with others how that help arrived in my story. And people who come on this call, you know, are saying the same prayer, because there's a narrative going around. When I was trying to get off all those pills, I got caught in a narrative that my brain had been damaged, you know, that it would take years and years and years to heal. And, you know, the doctor said you'll be on these pills for the rest of your life. Listen, folks, we're not going to spend much time on the problem. None of that turned out to be true. And I want to help others who might be lost in that same fear. So that's my introduction. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. How does this work? I have no idea how this works, but I'll share with you what makes it work. Grace, because every time we come on board, it's when two or more are gathered. This is a ministry. It's not a Christian ministry. We don't have to believe, you know, but we do have to have faith. So in order to kindle every Zoom call, I'm going to say the healer's prayer, which goes like this, because I'm a Course in Miracles student. And the healer's prayer goes like this: we are here only to be truly helpful, and we are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing that he or she goes there with us. And we will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. All right, so I did that in 4 minutes. We can go in any direction. Let's see who's on board. We've got participants. We've got gallery view. And hi, Kathy. Kathy, unmute yourself. All right. I don't know. I don't plan these. I learned if I plan it, it'll just sound didactic and structured, and that's not going to heal me out of mental illness. But I'll tell you what came to me this morning. Let's just go ahead and let's call it out what it is. Let's dive deep. How about schizophrenia? You know, according to the allopathic model, I probably still do have schizophrenia, according to that model, because I have voices in my head, and they go on day and night. You know, listen, folks, it wasn't until I got on my knees and asked for help that Spirit showed me, you know, exactly what an ego is and what an ego does and who I am with, you know, beyond that ego narrative. Has my schizophrenia, have my ego voices stopped? No, I still live with them 24/7. You know what though? I'm just not going to let them. You know, I'm gonna let them go into the background. I'm gonna allow them to speak. You see, and part of my mental illness was trying to push them down, trying to pretend they didn't exist, trying to compartmentalize them. You know what? This is the way it is. And I've got voices, and maybe it's, you know, if you're still in the allopathic model, you might call it schizophrenia. I've got I call it something different today. I call it the ego. And guess what? My life is now beginning to I can live with it. I can make peace with them. You know, I guess the Christians would say, Satan, get thee behind me. Yeah, I like that. Mostly it's just have a seat. You know, I don't need to listen to you today. Things are working, things are rocking and rolling, and I want to share that with all of you. So now that I got Kathy and Marcy unmuted, hi. I love your smiles, and even if you're not smiling, that's fine. All right, let's can we start off with Marcy this morning, because I'll just share with the YouTube audience. Marcy is just she's my angel. You know, she watches the Zoom call, she comments, she smiles, and the message is something we can share together. I'm not going to say this message is for her, because this message is for us. See? She probably, I don't know, tell me a little bit about your story, Marcy. Maybe that might be the direction of this Zoom call. You know, were you in those disempowering narratives where we were supposed to be on pills for the rest of our lives too? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And I was really grateful for that narrative when I discovered it. I felt what we all feel, like, sorry, excuse me. I feel like a oh, sorry, my bad. I feel like a unhappiness and dissatisfaction, and, you know, all the things that we all feel. And I thought, when I discovered that I got diagnosed, I was really grateful for that diagnosis and excited that, I found out what was wrong with me, and everything was going to be great from then on. And what I've come to realize through your ministry is that that's not the problem. I misidentified the problem. And so now I realize that I'm not happy because I was under the belief that I was Marcy, that I was an ego, that you know, this was me, and I was a project to get fixed. And now I'm like, now, instead of trying to put the fire out up at the flame level, I'm putting the fire out at the base of the, you know what I mean? Like, I'm identifying the actual quote unquote problem. That's been through your ministry. So, yeah.
My goodness, you said so much. I take notes. I can barely read my own writing because my script has become so illegible over the years. But oh my goodness, Marcy, grateful for your diagnosis. Yes. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. I've had to really modify this ministry to, you know, tell people, no, nothing's wrong with psychiatry. Nothing's wrong with it. In that paradigm, psychiatry plays a role. We're not here to protest. We're here to graduate. We know what doesn't work in our story. This is an ancient wisdom teaching. It's called neti neti. We had to go down the road of psychiatry to find out that's not it. Perfect. We've done our research. I love that. I was grateful for my diagnosis too, because it got me through, you know, may have gotten me through graduate school. But then, you know, then Spirit said, enough. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, that same narrative in my story, you know, that was an old narrative. You know, what's wrong with me? Well, what's wrong with the other 7.5 billion? You know, what was the other one you said? Yeah, project to get fixed. I know it was my mother's narrative. You know, God rest her soul. You know, if we can just fix what's wrong with you, the family will be fine. No, Mom, very old narrative, Mom. And then the last thing you said was you used the flame analogy. See, this is what I like to when we group, because I can tell you, Spirit downloaded in you a visual of a flame. I love this. Spirit. See, that's Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit speaking to you. and I want to point it out because these are nuggets. Spirit gave you the visual of a flame and showed that if we try and put it out at the top, it's never going to get down to, why don't we just starve that fire? In other words, pull out, just stop feeding it with wood. See, your spirit guides are working on you big time. I love that. Yeah, it's a deep rabbit hole, really deep. And when we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, we're gonna dive right in. Perfect. Water's fine. I'll go for it. Kathy, how you doing? You left a message on the group chat, and what I heard from the message, I can't recall it, but I'll just say the gist of it. You were sick and tired of trying, or you may have used different languages, but I'm just trying to paraphrase it. And my response was, that's actually a good place to be, because we got to be sick and tired of the trying itself. I know that's a huge paradigm shift, but I want to support you in the sick and tired of being trying, because that's where we start the shift out of the amusement park itself. Mm-hmm. Does that sound fair? I don't want to disclose too much because there's still,
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, I'd like to start just quickly at my pace. So during lockdown, I was just off of all of my medication, which was a lot. And so here I was sitting alone in my apartment, which was not good for me at all. Like going through withdrawal, and the thoughts in my mind were all terror. Every single thought was terror, terror, terror. And that went on for about 6 months, to where I finally reached out to someone, because I was like, yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't reach out. So I finally reached out to someone who was trying to get in touch with me. And then he came over, he took me out of my apartment because I was not eating or, taking care of myself. And he brought me to this holistic place with this naturopath doctor, and she let me stay there for free, fed me, brought me back to life, sort of. So for over a year, I had these horrible thoughts every single day. There was no way to turn them off. And so now I'm finally free of all that. And I am grateful that, I don't have to go through that terror anymore. But now that, things that I'm starting to get it back together, I really want to move on with life. And it's fucking challenging. Like someone mentioned to me the other day about the hero's journey, and that when you embark on something, really positive and healthy, that everything that is negative will show up to try and block it. And that's what's going on. So that's why I'm exhausted. It's hard. That's all.
Kathy, can I share with you what my journey looks like? Let's join in this right now.
Sure.
Because and I'm glad you brought this up. One of your gifts is clarity and transparency and honesty, because I'm still trying to get. I oftentimes find myself trying. How do I say this in words? We're truly being called for a different trajectory here, and I'm stumbling for my words right now. This is unusual. I think we're being called for more than getting our life back. I think more is being called of us, but we don't know what it's going to look like. This, I guess that the closest I can come to would be, some of the mystical teachings that, we truly believe, like in my case, now that I'm, recovered or merged, it's time to go back to work. It's time to start earning money again. And it's time. That was the old script. It's time to go back to school. It's time to start, putting back still more old script. We're truly being called into a completely new script of in my case, it was mysticism. And I think that's why I'm not a real popular teacher, because a lot of these coaches will agree with you. Yeah, let's reinvent the dream character. And by the time we're our age, we've got to actually unwind the dream character and unbelieve the dream character, which is why myself and Beloved and so many of us keep going back to the Course in Miracles. My energy, this is what I have to remind myself every day, and this is a small pamphlet that I received from my teacher Dave Hoffmeister. It's called "Purpose is the Only Choice," and my purpose is what's called the atonement in Course in Miracles language. I want to hear what your language sounds like, and it means instead of trying to create, I'm to unbelieve. And in that space of unbelief, that's where miracles and synchronicities, replace the striving and the achieving. I'm talking a completely new language here. But it's the old paradigm that got me into that same place where you were, where I was coming off psych meds, I was all alone, and the terror thoughts were unbeknownst. And let me share with you one thing. And the synchronicities in my story are generating service opportunities where my needs are being met. I'm not saying that the money's coming in, but I am going to say my needs are being met. You see, it's a completely new way of life. And that's what they told us in the 12 steps. They were trying to point this towards us in the 12 steps when, coming off of drugs and alcohol. 12 steps are applicable across the board. It's just a 1930s, basic parameter language compartment. It's fine, Kathy. It's all good. This is what your path looks like. This is what your path, and your path will unveil. I'm sharing with you mine. Your path is going to unveil what it needs to uncover when it needs to be shown. Truly.
I have no idea. All I know is that when I'm singing or when I'm teaching singing, or if I'm in any musical kind of group, nothing, I don't know, everything just feels expansive and happy, and that's what I should be doing.
See, when we start to speak, our wisdom comes out. I couldn't agree with that more.
And so the reason why I want to go back to school in Toronto is because I'll be immersed in music and reintroduced, and like I'll be able to, get all the techniques and whatever. I'll just be able to be immersed in music for one more year. I'm looking forward to the songwriting class, just to get all this stuff out and turn it into something beautiful. And I want to get out of Ottawa. I want to get out of my hometown. I want to go to a more vibrant city where people are not asleep. It's a very sleepy government town, where if you're an artist, you're a freak. So I want to go to where all the freaks are in Toronto. Yeah.
You want to sing for us? That if you sing for us, it will just be always want to sing for us?
Oh my gosh. Maybe in a bit. I don't know. Give me a song.
I don't know any songs. I love yours. They just come out. They've come out several times.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, though you feel it breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fears and sorrow, smile, then maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Okay, that's good.
More than good.
But
Beautiful.
yeah, smile. It tricks the
Beautiful.
brain into feeling that you're okay. Nothing's wrong. It's very simple, but I forget about it all the time.
It's the artists, it's the creatives, it's the luminaries, the visionaries that have and it's the geniuses and the savants that have the toughest roads.
Yeah.
When they've been given much is going to be asked of us. And as far as being normal, good luck. Remember the tagline of this ministry, to Krishnamurti, to be well adjusted to an insane society is not a sign of mental health. Remember, herd of sheep going over the cliff. One sheep, stands up, and the rest trample them. I mean, I'm sorry. Strictly ballroom, no new steps. How do we say this? How do we say this with humility? I don't know. What I do know is that, I'm here in Mexico, and I'll share with you what my days look like. When my voices have, and that's what I started the Zoom call, my voices have not gone away. All that, blah, blah. What I do is I've learned, because of I've now got proof evidence that faith produces prodigious results. Infinite patience produces, immediate results according to the Course in Miracles. I know if I just get up, go outside and take a walk to the plaza, and I just say, who's going to show up next? And whoever shows up next is going to be the next messenger, or I get to be the messengee. And it was, I don't know, 2 days ago, it was an 89-year-old Baptist minister over there at Black and White Coffee in the plaza. Perfect. I'm supposed to speak to you today. As if I know what's best for me. I don't. And it worked. Because I forgot about the voices, and I talked to this beautiful 89, and I said, I announced myself. He invited me over to his table. I drank iced coffee, and next thing you know, we're talking about faith. I said, buddy, there's a lot of stuff we probably can't agree on, because I'm a 56-year-old. I've been out of the closet for 35-year Baptist minister, but I bet we can agree on the faith part. So let's have a talk this afternoon, and it worked.
Nice.
I don't know.
That's beautiful.
I know you already do that, so we're just going to come together on Sunday mornings and do it together, all of us.
Yeah, it's funny, because I don't know. I mean, Ottawa was already a kind of repressed place. And since the lockdown, you can't approach people like that in cafes. Like, that is beautiful to me, that, you approach someone and he invited you over. It's like that. It doesn't exist here. I don't know. Not in my world. It's super weird.
That's just it. Remember, I did all that medicine back in 2019, and I saw, thank God I got to do that medicine. The world is inside of us.
Yeah.
This is why people don't really want to come near the Course in Miracles, because once you really realize what that book is saying, there is no wiggle room for a world out there anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. And the minute I said all right to that, a whole different way of life. I was doing a Zoom call yesterday with a gay men's group, and we had a guest speaker on. He was a Native American Indian. That's perfect. The name of the Zoom call was Two Spirits. And he was trying to speak to us, but he said, I'm having a very difficult time because all of you Westerners have this linear thinking model. Said us Native Americans don't have that model. He said, for us, it's circular. So right there, he was saying, basically what the Course in Miracles says: egoic thinking, horizontal; spiritual thinking, or Holy Spirit thinking, they call it. In his vernacular, it was circular, and in our model, it's vertical. I swear to God, we're talking apples and oranges here. But we have to get off the horizontal to do the vertical. And what I noticed, I was so lonely in my withdrawals. I mean, you want to talk about loneliness? I mean, I was, green sofa, couldn't get off of it. And still, I don't even want to talk about it, because those, it's trauma to even go back there. where was I going with this?
Circular, linear.
I can't remember where circular versus linear I was talking. Truly, I had to. I just lost my train of thought. Anybody want, Marcy? Maybe that's an indication I've talked too much. Do you want to pick up on some of it?
Thank you for the singing. That was like I don't know if you realize how extremely talented that you are. Your voice is, I've gone back in these archives and I've listened to you, and you just have this gift. I think that you're pretty fucking amazing.
Thanks, Marcy.
And your gift your voice, excuse me, has been a gift to me. It's like a balm, something soothing, and just, we're talking about some really heavy stuff here. And, I know there's days like today when you're looking like you're really struggling, and yet you open your mouth and this freaking beauty comes out of you. And it's really an honor to sit here and get to, kind of enjoy this gift that you are so free to give, even when you're hurting and in pain. You're giving. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying that.
If I can put this into any sort of context, and I've used it 1,000 times before, this is the failure of the caterpillar. And I can't repeat that enough. All the other caterpillars are going to say, "Oh, that's too bad. Look, what a failure." They went off, left the tribe and then wrapped themselves up into a cocoon. Caterpillar failure, caterpillar failure. So we all know where the story ends. Butterfly. I'm here at Namaste, and I hate butterflies all over the wall down in the library downstairs. We're dissolving. Marcy used the analogy of flames. I'll use the analogy of cocoon. This is what the dissolve looks like. We just need more encouragement. Someone say nothing's going wrong, something's going right. God Almighty. But it's a horrible, messy process. We will do everything in our power to go back to become. Let's reinvent our caterpillars. I'm sorry, we can't do that. And if there's anything I can do to try and lubricate this, is to say it's all to inject love into the cocoon itself, is to show people the first signs of butterfly wings. I mean, yours are coming through. I mean, spirit will only give us as much as we can handle, and spirit will give us signs and signals. And Marcy and I pointed out to you, Kathy, that voice of yours, that's butterfly voice. That's not caterpillar.
Yes. God.
There's a song.
And then I had to stop the conversation yesterday, as if it's black and white, as if there really are 3 stages. If there really, as if there really is, caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. We go back and forth, as if 5 stages of grief were really linear. Good luck with that. Mine never happened. But one note of caterpillar is more powerful than 10,000 experience. I mean, one note of butterfly is more powerful than 10,000 experiences of caterpillar.
Yeah.
That's put into some perspective here. I mean, this is not Course in Miracles, but this is all spirit guided to get us to where we can start the unbelief process.
Where is everybody today?
Yeah.
I have no idea who comes on these calls.
No.
It's different.
I love the room you're in, Kenneth. It's beautiful, and the surrounding outside. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great. This time I'll kind of give you a tour. I've got a tour. Isn't it great?
God.
And I got this is the best part. I got a spiral. You can't see it. Let's see. Here we go.
Oh.
Spiral staircase. I'll take it down further, but the community room downstairs. No,
Wow.
Is
Yeah,
it
my
someone's
challenge.
home or?
No, it's a community called Namaste, and it's run by James Twyman. I guess it's a interfaith community. They're going to have in about an hour and a half. They're going to have a unity service downstairs. About 60 people.
Wow.
It's sort of a spiritual retirement. I don't know what this is. It just evolves. But James Twyman is the owner, and he's a luminary. He's a savant, spiritual savant. He's been writing books for his entire career, and
What
I've
is
had
it
my
called?
Namaste.
Oh, okay.
I've had my challenges here too. I wasn't, for the first 3 weeks, I was staying with a friend in San Antonio, and it wasn't working. The last couple of days. And then I got triggered. Maybe I'll bring that up. I'll share with you what my trigger is. She
Yeah,
said,
sure. Go
she
for it.
basically said to me, "It's not working out." I love her. She's one of my. She even came on the Zoom call. She's one of my close friends. And then I got triggered again. Triggered. It's not working out. See, when that voice is at the, I heard her. I'm shameful. I take from people. You see, the voice just went into a tirade when she just simply said, "It's not working out. Can you find a new place?" It happens here all the time. People move, all the time in Mexico. All right, so I knew enough. Restraint of tongue and pen. If in the old days I would have believed those voices. What I was able to do today was to get on the bus, go into town, share these voices with another community, just share them, put them all out there, keep breathing. It was terribly uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, it was beyond uncomfortable. It was painful. But as we continue to strengthen, I call it faith. I just kept breathing, repeating the very simple Course in Miracles lesson. I'm not upset for the reasons I think. I'm not upset for the reason. Marcy's doing this. That's what Keith Kavanaugh tells us to do. I'm not upset for the reasons I think. I walked into Namaste, and the director here said, I said, "Do you have any places?" And she said, "Oh yeah, the tower room's available for the next week." And a new place in 5 months. And actually it worked. I mean, in many ways, the caterpillars are going to judge us. Oh, they're nomadic. Oh, they don't have a retirement. Oh, they don't have a mortgage. Oh, they don't. You know what? I don't think Jesus had a retirement. I don't think Jesus, had a mortgage. I don't think he set roots. Maybe it was no accident that I had an American Indian come on the Zoom call last night, because he said we're nomadic. We're a nomadic, so we follow the buffalo. Maybe that should be the title. I was thinking the title is singing our way, because into mental health, but maybe it should be following the buffalo.
Yeah.
This is what's hard. Butterfly and the buffalo.
Oh, there's one. Butterfly and buffalo. Buffalo. My old conditioning, what's the strongest conditioning that I face, the reason I have to just use these teachings as reminders, because I was not engineered to follow my family trajectory. I am simply not engineered. My family trajectory was get lots of investments. Let's say when my grandmother died in 1983, there were 7 safe deposit boxes, and they contained, $3 million in bearer bonds alone. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't my grandfather's fault. That was supposed to help us. God rest their soul, it didn't help. It was putting faith in an idol. I don't think they meant it that way. They didn't know what to do with the money. Because of that, it wasn't my grandmother either. It was my grandfather could not shatter the barrier of his cultural conditioning. I don't know if I just aired that my dirty laundry all over YouTube, but that's what I was exposed to in 1983. What do we do with it? We can't give it away. Terrible conundrum. How did I get off on that topic? But that was my cultural conditioning. Is the faith was to come from money. The security was to come from money. I'm sorry, there's no compromise. There's no security in money anymore. And if we're living in 2023, if you haven't, been following the current events, you're going to realize we don't want security in money. Can't eat silver bars. We have to, and now that now that we've flushed out all the pharmacology, we're ripe. I mean, we are ripe. You cannot buy a butterfly wing with a silver bar. It's just not going to happen. The only thing that's going to buy us a butterfly wing is 100% faith. Thank God we already had. Thank God those pills burned us, to our dream characters, to the ground. That's what they did. We can't go back. My only suffering is when I try to go back. I can't. To jump. My friend Dale Crow in let's see, he's not in Chillicothe anymore, but he's still in Ohio. All of our calls, he just kept telling me, jump. It's safe. My teachers all tell me to jump. It's safe.
Wow.
By jump, they just mean trust and allow in the unseen. Isn't that what every spiritual tradition has been telling us the whole time? The only difference is that we're coming off psych meds and benzos. Yeah, Catherine, I know that darkness that you described during your COVID lockdown like the back of my hand. And I want to also, implore you to follow the signs and signals, because that is going to be used as your ministry to guide others out of the dark forest of pharmacology. It was all pre-written. We could not have avoided those pills. It was all pre-written in our script, all of it. Butterflies and buffaloes.
That's pretty cool, because the naturopath doctor I went to go live with for a while, she had a serious case of schizophrenia, whatever. She didn't call it that, but when she was younger, but she had both parents who were naturopath doctors. So they found a natural way to help her heal. She didn't have to go through all this. And so, yeah, she was more than willing to help. And yeah. Anyway, just wanted to say, I feel like I'm still detoxing from the whole world or realm of psychiatry, whatever it is. Almost out. But I believe that, like, not to run away from things, but I just want to get out of Ottawa. I want to get out of this apartment. I want to be free of my, that old self. And I don't know. That's it. That's all I can. That's what's going on in my dream right now. It's time to get out. Separate from family, just go and get out of the nest and or this so-called safety zone, and take a big jump.
Marcy, how's this going for you this morning? It's heavy stuff.
It is. I love it.
Good.
I love it. Something, this is a little bit, I don't know if it's off the topic, but I've noticed something kind of cool, like as I'm coming off my medications, I'm like I'm getting more of the feeling sense of being connected to everything. And it's really cool. It's like, for me, it's like a little, I don't know, bonus prize or something in all this, because, it's cool and weird. My husband and I, we go hiking pretty much every day. And as we're going through the woods, I'm like starting to feel the difference of being more connected. There's less space between me and the trees, or me and what's outside of me. And I thought about talking about that on the Zoom call, right? And I'm like, well, it kind of really makes me sound like I'm nuts. And I'm like, you know what? I am nuts. Like, I'm on this Zoom call, like, what? So, sorry, I'm like, if I can't talk about it here, where can I talk about it, right? So, I'm just feeling more of a connection, not just to stuff and to my environment, but to people. And I think that for me, the connection with people is really what's um, spectacular. I mean, to uh, for example, Kathy this week, she's Catherine. I don't, do you like Kathy or Catherine? I don't, or does it matter?
You can call me goddess. Kathy's fine.
Goddess.
Kathy.
Yes. Okay. So you're sharing with us, what your struggles are. And whereas before I'm kind of sad and embarrassed to say this, but I would have been disconnected. I would have read that and I would have felt sad, like on a outward level, but I wouldn't have felt it. And I feel it. I was reading your message and I'm like, wow, I'm really feeling this. And for me, even though it was sad, I didn't really know what to say to you to help you, make you feel better. And I thought, sorry.
Can I share something?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll just real briefly, you can keep going. You were talking, Marcy, a quote, which is one of my favorite. This comes from the Mad Hatter. Have I gone completely mad? And the response from Alice was, I'm afraid so. You're entirely bonkers. But I'll tell you a secret. All the best people are.
Love it. I love it. I was able to look at Catherine's message and I was able to really feel it. And I was like I said, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to love her. And that's one thing that the course has really helped me with is to help me get an understanding that, I can't hug you guys, I can't touch you physically, but I can love you and I can ask Holy Spirit to, look through my eyes so I can see Kenneth and I can see Catherine and I can see you, like, and that's such a gift. That's worth it to me. I'll be crazy and I'll go off my pills and I'll have anxiety and I'll deal with all this because the payoff and the reward is to feel, and right now for me, feeling good or bad is a blessing.
Yeah.
I want that documented, Marcy. That's why I record these, because the courage to want feelings and to have the courage to face, to have the courage to want because basically, you know what, you and I are Course in Miracles students, and we have to want the peace of God more than anything else to promulgate these miracles. And that's inside of that bag are the emotions and the feelings, And the other thing I heard you say, which I'm glad you brought up, is that no, our only role is to see, they call it the light of Christ in others. And I had a friend down here who's, gone off the wagon with drugs and alcohol. And I'll tell you what's beautiful is that no one here knew what to do. They all said, how do we help her? How do we fix her? How do we help her? How do we fix her? And I said, that's a no-brainer. I went down and just loved her. Can't help her, can't fix her. Perfect. Because I'm the one who gets to love her. And maybe that's what I want. I keep saying we're all going to start our own ministries. That's kind of a misnomer. No, we get to love the people who are on psych meds and benzodiazepines. We get to. It's not that complicated. Like, nothing I can do for my friends. I brought her a little bit of food, but and she could feel it. God damn it, that woman could feel that she was loved. Because you know what? The only way I'm going to love myself is to love. So I can't just sit here and I love myself. Well, I mean, maybe Louise Hay could do that. I never had much success with that, but Spirit says, fine. Love someone who's in the same kind of darkness that you couldn't love inside yourself, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, there's my mirror. If I love you, I get to erase the slate. It's just 12-step work. It's complicated.
Yeah.
I know. Big deep breath. This is a hard, being a human being is a hard assignment. Let's give ourselves credit for that. Remember what the channeled messages, the Pleiadians were saying, Jesus Christ, you guys have picked the hardest assignment. We ain't going down there to planet Earth, especially right now,
Oh, God.
Strongest of the strong. Yeah, let's breathe that one in.
Let's take a deep breath. You ready?
Mhm.
Marcy, you're talking about that you just wanted a hug or touch.
Yes.
Well, you have touched me in a very deep way. It would be nice to have a hug, but just by you, complimenting, I don't know, the lighter side of me, reminding me that there is something good in here, that touches me beyond any freaking hug. So thanks.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm glad. And you have a lot of light in you. A lot. I can see it. I mean, I know you're not really feeling it right now, but you're pretty fucking amazing. Excuse my mouth. I felt like you can handle an F-bomb.
Gracias.
This is just the shadow coming out. Shadow's not bad. Everyone's got it. For some people, when it's on their timeline to wake up, it's got to come out for the alchemy work. Don't let a single caterpillar, don't ever believe a single caterpillar when they say something's going wrong. Mm-hmm. This has to come out for the alchemical process. Has to. Mm-hmm. Why I'm not popular amongst the caterpillars. Look at my beautiful new caterpillar shoes. Sorry. Fine. But when the failure arrives, that's where I want to spend, that's where I want to spend. Look at my beautiful new caterpillar theology. Look at my beautiful new caterpillar, new age, no. Sorry, that sounds judgmental. It's hard to put this into words, but I know you can hear it.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk just a bit about loneliness and community? Because I believe strongly that I am not going to, or that I will grow a lot more if I'm, around people. Like right now, like for the last freaking 2 years, I haven't really been around people.
How long?
Like a couple of years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just let go of my tribe in Ottawa because it was devastating. Mm-hmm. And a lot of alone time. And I'm craving, like, I'm so jealous of where you are, Kenneth. Like, you get to go to a unity circle after this. Like, I want that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's getting in the way of, like, just accepting where I'm at, because I'm always longing to be part of anything, man. Like, even in Toronto, I would love to be part of a musical group. Just to have that sense of belonging. I know that I belong, but I want a little bit of that earthly belonging as well.
I went out to dinner with the community last night. You know what? I was lonely at dinner too.
Yeah.
I truly, I know in form, this would appear to be a solution to the loneliness, and in many ways, I'm very grateful to be here. I'm still lonely, you guys, and it's the discipline and the teaching. Truly, we think if we make a change in form, and it's at the caterpillar level, the changes in form are so understandably helpful. I'm here. Maybe the message I have is that we're inside of a cocoon, and to say it's all right. We're gonna transform, whether we're in community, whether we're out of community. No matter, we can't stop the transformation that's already begun inside of us. So yeah, maybe being in community would have some perks that being in Ottawa doesn't. We can't. I'll quote Vishara Veda, Xantron. I'll put her down on the description line. The forces of evolution are unstoppable. I'll quote Matt Kahn, who said, if you feel you didn't jump on this bandwagon, he said, don't worry, because you've got a rope tied to the bumper and it's going to drag you along behind whether you like it or not. That's like,
It's pretty intense.
I was supposed to, anything we can do. What I finally saw when I looked back, and saw the trail out of the dark forest was that when I wasn't in a community, it was because I wasn't supposed to be in a community. And when I was, I don't want to, sound like a new age, life coach trying to paint over what hurts and what's lonely. I can share with you my direct experience.
Well, there's this group too. I mean, we're part of this group. That's before this group, I was in a lot of the same boat. I didn't have any connection to anyone really. I don't work, and so I have a lot of free time, and it is really isolating and lonely. But Catherine reached out to the group also, and I think that that's showing an intent. Basically what I'm going to try to express is that she reached out, right? And this group is here for us to come to, and she did. So she's showing that you're utilizing the group that you have, and by excuse me, by utilizing the group that you have, you're making room for more support and more groups. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or not?
Definitely.
Okay. So it's like you're telling the universe, hey, thank you for this group, and I'm going to plug in, I'm going to connect, I'm going to share when I'm struggling and when I'm happy, and I'm going to share my voice, I'm going to share my sorrow, I'm going to, and so it's like, to me, you're making room in your life for this next phase.
Beautiful.
And it is isolating and alone to be in a cocoon. It's really, and I agree with you. I don't think that we can fully heal unless we have others to sort of mirror to us.
Yes.
And you can get so far by yourself. And then I do think that, yes, we do. We need each other.
Yeah.
We do. That's why I'm here. I'm here because I need you guys.
Yes.
And honestly, if I didn't need you as much as I do, I would not be here. This is not a easy thing to do, to come on here and to talk about, our innermost being, and just put it all out there, especially when you're feeling messy and disorganized and you're coming off, these substances, and you're just you're not feeling like 100% like, ooh, I'm going to present myself and I'm going to be this flawless, perfect, whatever it is that we're used to seeing, on YouTube. And it's like, that's not this. And I think that's why there's not a lot of people here. But you know what? The people that are here really want to be here. I really want to be here. I'm really, really grateful for you guys. Really, very, very, very grateful. So.
Me too.
I mean, yeah.
Ditto, ditto, ditto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a call from my friend / therapist. He wanted to start our session at like 15 minutes before this. And I got on with him and I said, I can't, I'm like, I feel called to do this. This is the only group I belong to right now. So just really want to be with them. So we're going to do it later.
Marcy was talking. I guess I could just repeat it every Zoom call. The lotus flower only blooms in the mud. Caterpillars don't want to get their feet muddy. That's why they buy their caterpillar shoes, so they don't get their feet muddy.
caterpillar Prada, right?
Help Prada. We got so many
Yeah, I
different.
just made that up. I don't know.
You know how much I enjoy making those little YouTube GIFs on every single Zoom call, you know, because I got a Photoshop program on my old computer.
Have you ever had your feet in mud, like really immersed in like a big, thick mud? I love that.
It's heavenly.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, and we had something called Mud Mania at school, and they came in with caterpillars and dug these big pits and filled it full of water. I mean, it was just pure mud, like 5 feet of mud, like your whole body. We'd slide down a hill. Oh God, it felt good. It was so amazing. It was really amazing. So yeah. Yeah, I guess we got to get muddy, and then we find out we like it, right? Like, who knew?
One of the things I had to do was I had to start noticing. And the first thing it's been in front. I said this in the last Zoom call. You know, I was told to start drawing happy children when I was a teenager. I mean, duh, it's been right in front of my face. Well, the other one is even closer in front of my face. My last name is Price. I had to unwind the belief in money. I mean, truly, you know, it's
I don't understand. Why did you have to draw happy children? I don't get that.
Yeah.
Because I was becoming an unhappy child. So Spirit gave me the most obvious, you know, sign. You know, I have my own cartoon characters. I call them happy children.
Aww. So sweet and sad.
No,
Those are the cartoons you draw, Kenneth?
I call them happy children cartoons. I've even got a Facebook page, Happy Children Cartoons.
I saw there was like some pictures of some little kids, and they were coloring, and you made those pages?
Down here, those are the kids from Poco a Poco. Made them coloring books.
Wow.
I just want to hug them.
Children?
And then my father would come in with all of his, you know, with his script. Yeah, but it doesn't make any money. See, but I had to have that script. You know, I had to have the talent. I had to have the pull, and I had to have the push. At least I did in my story. Listen, we're at 10:58. Let's wrap up the recording. I got to run downstairs, but I'll leave the Zoom room open. I'll be right back up in 5 minutes. But this is Kenneth Price, and I've been blessed. I'm not shitting you, folks. I've been blessed for the last hour with Marcy and Kathy, because we're all going through it together. We're all emerging from our psych meds, our benzodiazepines, our you know, dark night of the soul. We're emerging from our cocoons. I don't care what we call it, from our mud. We're emerging from our mud. And, you know, the Course in Miracles says, you know, we do not go home alone. Mighty companions will join us. And I've got to solidify this. This is nothing is going wrong, because this is the prodigal son, prodigal daughter parable. Our prodigal son, our prodigal daughter parable. We're walking home. It's really that simple. And we all know how the parable ends. The father runs out, and this is a parable that we must, you know, we've got to spend time on this parable. I'm not a Christian, but the parable itself was brilliant. You know, now that we're walking home, we know how it ends. The father runs out and couldn't be more thrilled. All right, so there's my sermon for a Sunday morning. 10:59, Sunday, August 13th. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave your comments below, like I tell, you know, everyone to. But even more important, join us on a Sunday morning. I will keep doing this every Sunday morning as long as people continue to show up. Psychiatricsobriety.com. God bless you guys, and may the force be with you. And thank you for watching. Bye.